Hey guys, welcome to my first look at a game called To the Moon. This is going to be a really tough video for me to do, but I really wanted to do it because this game is incredible. It is really, really good. It is... how should I put it? It's almost like a point-and-click adventure that you can also play like an old school, like a SNES-era RPG where you walk around and talk to people, but it's not really a game. When you come down to it, it's more of a story. So let's get into... let's actually begin a new game rather than loading my old one. There we go. And there are a few different control schemes you can use for this game. You can use the mouse to just point where you want to go and investigate things that you click on. You can use the keyboard to like move around with arrow keys and hit space, and you can also use a gamepad, and that's my method of choice. It's pleasantly nostalgic for me to control this game with the gamepad. So, as we get started here, you can see just unbelievably beautiful pixel art here. It's very, very... it's the good kind of retro graphics, you know. There are a lot of games that are like, oh yeah, we're using retro graphics, meaning that we didn't have a lot of money to put into the art, so we made it like 8-bit or something. And that's not to knock on those games. There are plenty of games that look like that have excellent gameplay, and they're using the retro graphics as kind of a way to cut down production costs. I'm just saying that's not the case here. This is like AAA style pixel graphics that were top of the line back in the Super Nintendo era. Super pretty. So here's our protagonists. We've got Dr. Rosaline, who is our like strong, independent female lead who's good at everything and kind of picky about things. You know, it's a very common like archetype in Japanese RPGs. Equally common, we have Dr. Watts, who is our male bumbling sidekick, kind of. And, you know, that's also a super common trope in video games. He's just kind of like an idiot and he likes to fuck around and everything. And I talk about this trope more in my series of misandry in video games, which you can see my Kickstarter for in the... no, I'm just kidding with you. But anyway, yeah, it's a very common dynamic. So he was driving and he ran into this tree because he was trying to avoid the squirrel which is dead. So he killed the squirrel, he hit the tree, he ran over it and hit a tree. Rosaline's pissed off at us. It's only a company car, he says. The boss is going to kill us, etc. Lots and lots and lots of text in this game, which is why I was kind of saying that it's going to be a tough video for me to make. So you could kind of see the dynamic between these guys. I don't want to read out loud all the text, but I might end up doing that. Why does the world have to be so complicated? Okay. So we're going to grab our equipment, and we don't know yet what these guys are up to. But we got our equipment, and then we can walk up this way. If we try to walk this way, Rosaline says the sign to the house points the other way. He's like, oh, how kind of it to exist. So we're going to head up toward the house here. So the game is very funny in a lot of points. It has a lot of legitimately funny humor, but it's also very deep and touching. It's a fantastic story, which is why I like it so much. It's not, like I said earlier, it's not really a game so much. It's an interactive story. Who put a boulder here? So we're gonna... I wonder what happens if you just push it by hand. I know what happens if you find a branch. Yep. So it just bounces away. What was that? So we got this balloon boulder on our way up, and we hear more about that later on, but I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not sure if we'll get that far in this first look. So all we know is we're two scientists, we hit a tree on our way over here, we got some equipment out of our car, and we're heading up to this old house. We knocked on the door. Here we are back in the area from the intro. We've got these two children sitting around playing a piano. And the mother is going to come down and open the door for us. Very pretty house. Kind of mansion-like. Watts says he could do better. So they're on the night shift here. We know they're gonna have to be doing something here all night, but we don't know what yet. We know we're by the ocean. I don't get paid enough for this. And we'll head up into the house. Still don't know what that quote means. Excuse me. It's kind of a long loading screen. Here we go. Huh. So we're predicting a death. I already know what they're talking about, but I'm playing up the drama. So this is the caretaker of a dying man, apparently. Johnny. So we're in the house of a dying guy. That's the caretaker and her children who are living here. It always tells you to control with the mouse, even if you're clearly not. But it doesn't really matter. It is funny how often it reminds you, though. So we're gonna head upstairs. The kids are gonna come out here and play some piano. So Tommy gets to play the melody. Sarah's pissed off. And they're actually pretty goddamn good at piano. I should mention, music in this game, absolutely fabulous. Some of it is produced by a guy named Kengao? I'm sorry, I forgot his name already. And I don't know him at all. The other, some of the tracks are produced by Laura Shigihara, which she did all of the music for Plants vs. Zombies, which if you've ever played that game, really good music in that as well. So nothing but impressive atmospheric music in this game. Very good. So we're gonna head in here into the kind of what am I trying to say? The deathbed of this guy. So we're gonna set up this machine, and you can like wander around a little bit and see some stuff. But I'm trying to get into maybe a tiny bit of the actual gameplay before. That might be a little bit far in, actually, which may not sound fantastic to somebody watching this. If you're watching this thinking that this is like a game that you want to play that has gameplay, no, it's not that. It's a story. It really is. So we've got this mysterious machine here that we're gonna plug in, and it will dim the lights, but it's gonna hold. And still at this point we have no idea what these scientists are here for. So he's got a day or two left and we're supposed to do something within that time. We're granting him a wish. And he wishes for the moon. He wants to go to the moon. So all we know is that we're like apparently these magical wish-granting scientist fairies so far. So we're finding out a little bit more about him, so that we can be more prepared for this. Alright, let's play as Dr. Watts here. He once played Sherlock Holmes. Or Watson. Alright, so now this is the first like real gameplay of the game. We're supposed to walk around and figure out exactly what is going on with this dude. And I will say, so far the story seems very like nonsense and nebulous. It starts making sense very quickly, but we may not get that far because I don't want to show off too much of the game, which is why this is so challenging for me. We're gonna tell these kids to show us around. They're bargaining with us. So yeah, I don't want to show off too much of the story because this is going to be the same for every person who plays it. There's not any sort of depth of gameplay here. It's just you're walking your way through a story. So I feel like most people are already going to know whether or not this is their kind of thing. So they want us to get a candy cane for them. So we're going to go get it. Skip through all that dialogue. Head in here. So as you can see, there's a candy cane on a high shelf here, but we can't reach it. But what we can do is click on this table and move it over here. Grab the candy cane. That's probably the deepest puzzle there's been in the game so far. That's not really true, but that's the kind of depth you get in puzzles in this game. So you're gonna hand these guys this candy cane, and they're going to show us around the house and tell us where there might be some points of interest for learning about this old guy. There's a funny room in the basement. So we know he has some kind of weird secret in the basement. But first we need to find the keys. We can find them... Oh, that's not the study at all. Is the study this way? Yes, it is. Okay. The book room. So we can head over here. We can turn on the light if we want. Again, can't say how much I enjoy the pixel art. We got a room key out of that book. Can't say how much I enjoy the pixel art in this game. It's beautiful. Really good looking. So now we can open the funny room in the basement that they told us about. Yeah, we should probably turn on the light. And then head into this funny room. We turn it on, and what the fuck? Rabbits everywhere. A rabbit folded out of paper. Now we can pick up this platypus. So far I haven't needed it, but probably need it for some reason. Broken music box. So yeah, just this weird room full of rabbits in this guy's basement. What do kids know about all those rabbits? They have no idea. The guy was trying to hide them. There's more rabbits somewhere. In the lighthouse. So we need to go and see the lighthouse now. So we take these kids out with us, and there's a, or actually we can go up this way and see it first. So this guy has a really nice area up here with a bench where you can get a nice look out of the ocean in this lighthouse. And then to actually get there, we have to, remember there were two paths coming out from the car. We have to take the other one up there. Then we can get to the lighthouse. So this is what most of the gameplay is. It's just very like ambient, walking around, looking at the beautiful pixel art. You usually know exactly what you're doing. You're just, like I've said several times, it's here. Yep, and now the ball is explained. He thought he lost his novelty beach ball. He's gonna hide it. There's our car. It's smoking. Who's the dummy that crashed the car? Yeah, we're gonna tell him that was Dr. Rosaline. That's never really addressed. A squirrel. And now we have our first combat sequence in the game. I love that little shrug. So let's try attacking here. Let's use other shoe. The loudest yelling volume. So they're gonna call the cops on us if we actually heard that squirrel. So that's the closest thing we get to a traditional RPG here. I had no idea what to expect walking into this game, but I kind of thought, from the art especially, that it was going to be like an old school turn-based RPG. Not the case. That's the only combat scene so far, anyway. But I could not be happier with how this game, what this game ended up being. It's super good. It's like I really enjoy reading, and this game is a lot like a really good book, and that is hard to put down. It's very interesting. You end up, I don't want to spoil too much, but you end up going backwards in time through a story, and I really enjoy like playing with time like that. And so as you go further and further back, you understand more and more of the story. So I think this is going to be the end when we get up to the top of this lighthouse. I'll leave it there, because again, I feel like if this game is going to be your sort of thing, you already know. Like, I'll tell you right now, the story is excellent, the graphics are excellent, the music is excellent. It's just a very, very good experience. It has no gameplay to speak of whatsoever, so don't buy it for the gameplay, buy it for the story. And man, is this a good story if you're into that sort of thing. So we got up to the top, this lighthouse, and we found all of these weird paper rabbits, including a multicolored one, which features prominently in the story later on. So we're getting a call, and we're supposed to head back and see the guy, and that's where I'm going to end this. That's sort of the end of the opening part of the game, and after that you get into some of the more weird and interesting stuff that I don't really want to spoil. So if you like what you've seen so far, and you like an interesting story that's very deep and very just, yeah, really good story that draws you in and makes you feel emotions and whatnot, then buy this game. It's on sale for $8 right now, I believe. It's going to be $10 after the opening sale. Totally worth it. Oh my god, this game is good. Definitely buy it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.